Hello, Daughters of Utah Pioneers. We'd like to welcome you to this training that will give you an overview of our ISDUP website and the resources that are available to help you as you fulfill your responsibilities as an officer in Daughters of Utah Pioneers. In front of you, you can see the International Society Daughters Utah Pioneer website, and most of you are familiar with this website. On our website, we have at the top some tabs that have drop-down menus, and we'll come back to these in just a minute, but these have information on various topics that help our general members and will help you in fulfilling your responsibilities as an officer. On our homepage, I want to make sure that you're aware that there are many announcements and resources that are posted here, and we change the homepage weekly. We have information, of course, on joining DUP, our legacy newsletter, contact us, that's here. And then we have information that's put into what we call the bulletin. And this is sent out each month to our company presidents. And our company presidents are asked to send this on to their camp captains and other officers. Some of our company presidents and camp captains will send it on to all of the members in their camp, just so that they're aware of some of the announcements that we want our members to be aware of. And you can access it by clicking right here. We have the online training videos that will always be posted on our homepage. And then you can click here for the latest edition of our legacy newsletter, and then any other announcements that might be pertinent or relevant at that time will be posted on our homepage. So again, please frequent our homepage often. I'm going to go through these different tabs just in order and make you aware of some things that we've added or will be continuing to add. Under this home tab, you'll find instructions on how to do the fillable forms, contact information. There's some frequently asked questions that might be helpful as you are trying to find a definition or explain some of the things in Daughters Utah Pioneers. If you're looking for past copies of the legacy newsletter, you can access them there. Under the outreach drop down, you'll find a definition of outreach, and there is a click here to a document that can give you a list of ideas to provide public relations or outreach, just making people aware of what we do with Daughters Utah Pioneers. So look at this document. Then we're adding some things under this recruiting new members all of the time. We have a document here that gives some general ideas about how to ask people to join, different booths you might be able to do at community events, etc. And then we are starting to put resources that might help you in recruiting members. This is just a pass along card where you can write in your name and some information there about when you meet and give to your friends and neighbors. There's a generic flyer that you can fill in and give to some neighbors and friends, or you can take some of the verbiage on this flyer and make it your own and make it more relevant to the needs of the people in your area. Then there's some additional outreach information below. So we're still under the home page or home tab, and under outreach is where this section is. If I click join DUP, this is where you'll direct people who want to join Daughters Utah Pioneers, because we have our application and the instructions here and a little bit of information of what the qualifications are for joining Daughters of Utah Pioneers. There's some other resources here. Markers are listed here and some historical information. So this is under home and all of the drop downs for this home tab. The next tab is called Museums. We have Pioneer Memorial Museum, and I will just show you briefly. If you're interested in coming to Salt Lake, this gives you information about our museum and our offices here. And if you're interested in looking at what we might have at our museum, this is our railroad room. This is our railroad room, and we have the medical room. So you can get an idea of some wonderful things that are already are in our museum by just going to this drop down right here. Satellite museums takes you to this page. And if you do have satellite museums in your company or camp, this gives you some information on policy and some guidelines. If you're interested in visiting a museum or a cabin, this gives you an idea of where our satellite museums are located, where and maybe some contact information to know when that might be open. So this gives some great information about museums and care of artifacts, etc. Under our Histories tab, we have an overview of our histories, our history department. The next item I want to show you is called the History Index, and it's accessed by going right here. If you're interested in finding out if ISDUP has a history of one of your ancestors, you can go to this index, type in a last name, or you can be a little bit more specific. I just typed in Cox, and up will come information both on maiden name, last name, given name. Cox, it pulls up in many ways. And if you look at the birth date, the death date of this person, you can kind of identify if that might be your ancestor. If we have something here, it means that we have something on file, a history on file for that individual. Then you can go to our forms and request copies of those histories or history. You're welcome to call our office and get some more information. But under our Histories tab, many of our members aren't aware of this Pioneer Index, where you can search and see if we have a history on your ancestor. Under the History tab, we also have a document that is applicable to all of our members and associates. And this is called Research or Tips for Writing Histories. And if you want to write a history, or if you found new information about an ancestor that you want to add to a history, this is a great resource. It gives you information about our history department, but as you get to this third page, simple suggestions for writing a history, and also some prompts for writing a history. Then the last two pages are links that will take you to various resources, various websites that are rich in information and will help you write these histories. So under the History tab, there's also some other indexes here that will be of interest to you. I'm going to go to the Photos tab. At ISDUP, we have thousands and thousands of photos that have been donated, and we have scanned them all. And many of our members are not aware that we have these photos and that you can order them, just like you can order the histories that I just described. So you can enter the name here and search and see if we have a photo of that ancestor, and then you can order it from our history department. Additionally, we accept photos, and there's information on our department adding your photos to our collection. You can access the lesson photos under this tab as well. We also have the photos for the lessons under lessons, and I'll show that to you in just a minute. But make sure you're aware of the Histories tab and the Photos tab and these resources that will help you in collecting and writing histories. If you are an officer in Daughters Utah Pioneers, these next two tabs are really important for you to be aware of, and that's the Leadership tab and the Forms tab. And we like to tell people in the Leadership tab, we have everything you need to know in order to perform your duties as an officer will be listed here. And then under the Forms tab are some of the tools, and mostly forms, and that's why it's called Forms. There are some guidelines and things here, but these are mainly the tools that will help you. Under the Leadership tab, we have a Constitution and bylaws. We have something called Camp Officer Information and Company Officer Information, and I'll come back to these in just a minute. We have a list of the lessons, and I'll click on that just quickly so you can see a list of the lessons, and then you can access the photos here. So if you're ever wondering what the lesson is for this month, you can access that information under that menu right there. The chaplain thoughts can be accessed here. Our parliamentarian quotes can be accessed right there. And then I'm going to click onto our music tab. This gives you the music for the year. It's similar to what you saw with the lesson, with the month, the name of the song, and then where it can be accessed. But if you click right there, that gives you a PDF of the sheet music. And then right here, you have an audio file for the vocal. You'll hear someone singing this song. Or if you just want to have the accompaniment, that's where you'll click to get just the accompaniment there. At the top of this music page, you'll see access to the histories. So each month you can, as a music leader, you'll give a little bit of a description of how this song came to be, and you'll find the histories of the music right there. And then I clicked the histories. So this gives you an idea of what the history page looks like, and just summarize some of this wonderful information about the music there. If you back to music, our music leader has provided a video, an online training video, to help us access these audio files that are now available on YouTube. We no longer have a CD. CD players are hard to acquire, and our CDs became quite expensive for you and for us to produce. So we've moved to a format where these audio files are online, and there's information here in the training video about how to access those files. So if you're a music leader, make sure that you come to the Leadership tab, click here, and there will be rich information for you on the music and how to deliver the music in our meetings. I'm going to go back up to the Leadership tab and Camp Officer Information. I'm just going to talk about the Camp Officer Information, but know that similar information is found by clicking right here. Camp Officer Information looks like this. And we have information about what the purpose of a camp is, and some basics about why camps are important, why we have the various officers that we do. There's a report routing guide here that will help camps and companies, just a one-page, keep track of some of the reports that are due and when. So I want to make sure you're aware of that. There's information on camp elections, and similarly on company elections if you're on that other page. So in this section on both the camp and company officer information is kind of some overview information, elections, the routing guide, and general information. Down below, you will find specific information on your office. I encourage the camp captain and the company president to make sure you're familiar with your document. Your documents are a little bit more involved, a little bit longer. And as you fulfill offices in other, well, if you're not the camp captain and you're fulfilling, let's say, the secretary position, you click on the secretary position and you'll have usually a one-page document. Secretary is a two-page document. At the top, we have information about the Constitution and bylaws, and then your responsibilities as secretary. Record or record minutes, reports. So we've tried to put together very simply the information that you need and the duties you have in fulfilling, that you need to know, be aware of in fulfilling these responsibilities. And then down here, we have the resources that are available for you on our website. Our captain is much more involved. And I just show you very briefly. Camp captains, I'm sure you'll read this, but I think what I was trying to say earlier is yours is just a two-page document as well, but attached to the camp captain responsibilities is some more information that is important for you, but it also might be important for some of your other officers as well. It's a little bit more detailed. So this is the camp captain information. If I am the parliamentarian, my duties and responsibilities are pretty brief, important, but are contained basically on one page. If I am the parliamentarian, this gives you an idea of what I do each meeting and then where to go to find the information to fulfill those responsibilities. So you'll find the different sheets of paper. There are PDF on each of these different offices, and you'll find them right here. There's some detailed information for treasurers and some Venmo guidelines, IRS guidelines under treasurer that I want to make you aware of, and some various lists and additional information and policies on Satellite Museum. So just in review, let me go back. Under the leadership tab, you will find information on camp officers. Likewise, you'll find information on company officers. And if I'm the historian, I just come in here, I click historian, find out what my responsibilities are, and then you'll note in those documents, it will list forms. So you'll need to come over here to the Forms tab and access the forms. So under the Forms tab, you'll find membership dues forms, and this is particularly important for our treasurers and our secretaries. You'll find the secretary forms and so forth. And also under forms, we do have a few guidelines where we feel like it's important to list it in two places. So under our Forms tab is where you'll find everything that will support you in your officer responsibilities. Going back to our home page, I've gone over basically everything here along the top. The only other link is our shop page. And our shop page goes to our online shopping store, and it's housed by Shopify. I think most of you have been to that online shopping Shopify. That's where you'll find books and pins and be able to order those through our Shopify website, and then our business office will send those out to you. I think that covers all of the things that we wanted to mention in this training video about the ISDUP website and the resources that are available for you. We've tried to make it as simple as possible. Many of you are fulfilling many hats in Daughters Utah Pioneers, and we appreciate that. We appreciate your dedication and service, and we hope that some of these resources that we've made available on our website will help you as you fulfill your responsibilities as officers in Daughters of Utah Pioneers. Thanks again for all that you do, and we hope that you have a wonderful Daughters Utah Pioneers year.